So let's talk a little bit about factors and factoring. So the definition of a factor is any numbers that when multiplied to give you another number. Factors of a given number are the numbers that when multiplied to give you together give that first number. So for example, if I have the number 6, it has factors, and here are some examples of factors. 2 and 3 are factors, and that's because 2 times 3 will give you 6. But 6 also has as factors the numbers 1 and 6, and that's because 1 times 6 is also 6. This happens to be all the factors of 6 because no other pairs of numbers will multiply to give you 6. So these are the factors of 6. Now there's an interesting way that we can find all of the factors of 6, and I call this the factor rainbow. So what I do is I start by saying, okay, I'm looking for the factors of 6, which are 1 and 6. These are obvious factors of 6 because 1 times anything is always itself. So 1 times 6 will give me 6. So I'll mark that with a little color to show some kind of rainbow. There we go. The next option is, well, let's see, 1, I tried 1, let's try 2. Does 2 fit inside 6? Does 2 divide 6? It does. 2 goes into 6 3 times, so I put down 3 on the other end over here. And now I take another color and I mark this like this. And I continue. What comes after 2? 3. Oh, but I've already got a 3 here, which means I'm done. So these are all the factors of 6. 1, 2, 3, and 6 are all the factors of 6. I can try a slightly more complicated number like, let's see, maybe 24. Let's write that down. 24. And so I always start with 1 and itself 24 because 1 times 24 will give me 24. Now for fun, I'm going to add some color. 1 times 24. Now I move on to 2. Does 2 fit inside 24? It does. 2 will go into 24 12 times. So let's put a little bit of color there. 2 and 12. Now I ask myself what comes after 2? 3. Does 3 go into 24? It does. 3 times 8 will give me 24. So let's put a bit more color now. 3 times 8. Does 4 go into 24? It does. 4 times 6 will give me 24. Let's go back to red. I like that. There we go. Next, does 5 go into 24? No. Does 6 go into 24? Yes. But I already have the 6, so I'm done. Therefore, I can say that all of the factors of 24 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. Now there's another way to factor, and that's called prime factorization. So let's write that down. Prime factorization. And prime factorization is interesting because the result of factoring in this way will give you only prime factors, only numbers that divide the given number that are also prime. So let's take 24 again because 24 was a good number. Prime factorization will give us all the prime numbers that divide 24. Now to do this, I'm going to use a prime factor tree. Let's write that down in a different color over here. I'm going to use the prime factor tree method. And the way this works is I'm going to constantly branch off of the 24 with numbers that divide the top one. So an example would be 6 times 4. Now you can take any two numbers that when multiplied together give you 24. You could have started with 2 and 12 or 3 and 8. I happen to choose 6 and 4. Now from there I'm going to continue to branch off until the last branch contains only prime numbers. So for example, 6 I can split into 2 times 3. So 2 times 3 will give me 6. Now 2 and 3, both of those are prime numbers. The reason is 2 only has 1 in itself as a factor, and 3 will only have 1 in itself as a factor. Therefore, I know they're prime numbers. So I circle prime numbers when I get to them so that I know that on that branch I'm done. On the other side, I've got, so 4 is the same thing as 2 times 2. So I split 4 up into 2 times 2. Now I've already said that 2 is a prime number, so I can circle both these 2's. Now that I've got only green circles around each of the numbers at the bottom of the tree, I'm done my prime factorization. What this means is that 24 is, if I break it down into its prime factors, it's really the same thing as 2 times 2 times 2. I've got 3 2's. And times 3, I've got 1 3. So to make this clear, this 2 comes from here, this 2 comes from here, this 2 comes from here, and the 3 comes from here. If I multiply all of these factors together, I will get 24.